The Mighty Peking Man is a kaiju Bigfoot movie straight out of Hong Kong. A Godzilla Bigfoot movie? Sign me up! But most would say this is a King Kong ripoff, and, well, they're right, but maybe Peking Man has something unique to offer. In a remote village, somewhere in the Himalayas, an earthquake breaks out, and out from the ground comes the Mighty Peking Man. The natives try to fight it, but they're like ants to Peking. He takes a bunch of them out and destroys their temple. Meanwhile, in Hong Kong, some rich dudes hear about the story and want to try to capture the beast and bring him to the city so that they can get rich. The only man that can lead an expedition like this is Johnny Feng, an explorer who recently got dumped by his fiancée and has nothing else to lose. So Johnny and a rather large team travel deep into the jungles of India in search for the Peking Man. The first stop is the deserted village the beast recently attacked. They look around and yell, which gets the attention of the monster, and it lets out a scream, which causes a stampede of elephants to destroy the huts and kill some of the explorers. They set up camp elsewhere and notice that Johnny is distant from the rest of the group. Some guys go down to talk to him and find out about his fiancée dumping him. He tells them that she wanted to be a movie star, and his brother, Charlie, is a director. So, long story short, Johnny came home one day to find them in bed banging one out. The guys say that once he finds the Peking Man, he'll be rich and famous. Women from all over the world will want to be with him.
You'll be able to get any woman you want.
The next day, they continue their journey deeper and deeper into the jungle, where more danger awaits. Some guys fall into quicksand, a tiger attacks the group, which results in one of the more funnier effects of the movie. Then they climb up a mountain and some guys fall off of it. Man, nature kills more people than anything else in this movie. As they continue, they see a woman jumping from the trees and then running away. Who is she, and what is she doing all the way out here? They do eventually find giant, and I mean giant footprints in the dirt, but not much else. That night, while Johnny is asleep, the team decides that there's just too much danger for them here, and they split, leaving Johnny alone in the jungle. Then he's grabbed by the Peking Man. He drops him, and Johnny runs and hides where the beast can't reach him. But eventually, he passes out, where he's saved by the mysterious woman, who loads him up on Peking and takes him back to her home, a cave on the side of a mountain. Johnny wakes up and talks to his rescuer, who is admittingly super hot. I wish I'd be rescued by her. I guess they even had some problems with the extras staring at her when they were supposed to be running from the Peking Man. They'd have to reshoot the scene over and over again, and their wives would slap them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Right now, there's a language barrier between the two, and they don't understand each other. It's not until she takes him to meet her parents that he learns a little bit more about her. When she was a child, her and her family were flying overhead when the plane started to crash. Her father got her out, but him and his wife were engulfed in the flames. Reading through a diary, Johnny finds out that her name is Samantha, and that she was rescued by the Peking Man. She's lived in the jungle ever since. So now they run through the trees together. We see that Samantha is friends with the animals, specifically a jaguar that protects her. But he doesn't do a very good job because a venomous snake comes out of the grass and bites Sam. The jaguar attacks it, but it's too little too late. Johnny sucks out the venom, and an elephant takes them back to the cave, where the Peking Man drops a bunch of leaves that can cure her. Johnny muddles them up and puts them on Sam, which ends up saving her life. Later on, she gets up, but falls right into Johnny's arms, and the two start doing the dirty. Speaking of dirty, this girl has been in the jungle for what, 20 years? No bath, no razor, not even a hairbrush. I mean, I get it, she's hot, but man, at least let her get a hot shower first. Here we also learn why they call him the Peking Man, 'cause he sneaks a peek at him, clapping cheeks. Well, now that Samantha has fallen in love, she agrees to go home with Johnny back to Hong Kong, and he convinces her to bring the Mighty Peking Man, or as she calls him, Utum. Utum gave them both a ride to the nearest village where Johnny calls his friends, and they arrange a ship to transport them all home. A lot happens on board the boat, but I'll just give you the cliff notes. We meet the big bad of the movie, Lu Tian, who is our typical greedy bad guy. They chain Utum up against his will, but Johnny assures Samantha that it's for his own good. They can't have a giant ape walking around the boat after all. Johnny tries to get Sam to wear a dress, but she has none of it, opting to wear nothing instead, which I'm not complaining about. They navigate through a storm and eventually make it to the city, where everyone is excited to see the newly found giant creature. The first thing Johnny does when he gets home is to take Samantha to the TV station. I guess all that stuff that happened between Charlie and his fiancée is water under the bridge now. During a show, Johnny gets up and goes to his ex's makeup room, and they talk about how Charlie was a mistake and she regrets it, and you know where this is going. She kisses him just as Samantha walks in. But she was raised in the jungle by a giant. She wouldn't understand the concept of being monogamous. Well, maybe I'm thinking too much into this. She runs away, and Johnny chases after her. Meanwhile, the general public are getting their first good look at the Peking Man. He pulls dump trucks full of rocks, and the crowd goes wild. But these people paid for a show, and they're gonna get it. Men start hitting Utum with sticks to get him riled up. Sam comes running in and climbs in the cage with him. She assures the giant monkey that everything will be okay. They're gonna go back to the jungle and live life like they used to. Lu Tian shows up and assures her that he will be okay, and he invites her up to his apartment for a drink. Well, invite isn't really the right word. It's more like forces. And it goes exactly like you would expect. Samantha fights him, and Utum sees this. He breaks free of his chains, trying to get to Samantha, but Lu Tian takes her away.
You come with me! Come on!
Nothing else to do now but to go on a rampage through the city, knocking down bridges and buildings Godzilla style. Eventually, Utum catches up with Tian and Samantha. He grabs Tian and throws him to the ground, then steps on it for good measure. Now the military's called in to take the monster down. Did that guy just fart? Yeah, listen when he gets out of the car. Well, anyway, Johnny tells them that Samantha can control the beast, and they switch gears from shooting at it to finding the girl. Utum climbs up a building as the military surround him. Because, if you have a giant monkey movie, you have to have him climb the side of a building. Samantha does eventually see her buddy up there, and she runs into Johnny, who helps her get to the top. But, unbeknownst to them, the military has already started pumping gasoline up into the tower's water tanks, and rigged them to blow, giving the duo only a few minutes to calm down the situation, which just isn't enough time. Sam once again says that they can go back to the jungle and be safe, and then the military opens fire and starts the timer on the bombs. Sam and Johnny both get shot, which probably would have blown off their legs, but whatever. Johnny pulls Sam away from Utum to try to save her, but she doesn't want to go. She slams the door shut on him and stays with her friend. The bombs go off and lights the Peking Man on fire. He drops Sam into the safety of the building, and then he falls off. Johnny finds her and holds her up as he overlooks the city. And that's the end. Kind of a dumb way to end the movie, right? I mean, I knew Utom had to die. That's just the way things go in these kind of movies. But what about Sam? I'm assuming she's still alive. Does she forgive Johnny and stay with him? Or does she go back to the jungle? What about Johnny? Does he go back to the jungle to be with Sam? It sounds like they just needed to wrap things up and didn't know how to end it. Some people would think that this is a King Kong ripoff, and that this shouldn't be considered a Bigfoot movie. Well, I say if that suit was in a modern day Bigfoot movie, just as a normal Sasquatch and not a towering giant, it would hold up. And the Peking Man kills people by stepping on them, a trademark move for Bigfoot, so I say it counts. I like Samantha for obvious reasons, but she's also capable of handling herself. Sure, Johnny helps her with the snake bite and Utom helps her out all the time, but she isn't the damsel in distress you see in most of these movies. I like the look of the Peking Man too. I mean, it's a guy in a suit, there are parts where you can clearly see the holes in his eyes, and even a part where you can see the actor's teeth. But overall, I thought it looked pretty good. And speaking of the teeth, a dentist made them out of dentures, specifically for this movie. And the fur was made with human hair, so they put a lot of work into it and the miniature sets. If you like Godzilla or King Kong, then the giant Peking Man is a no-brainer. Give it a watch. And if you want more horror and gore, maybe you should skip this one. Personally, I liked it. I give it 3 distractions out of 4. I mean, just look at those eyes. So distracting.
There's a gorilla, a giant gorilla. He's outside.
Don't worry now. Look, my wife is a gorilla too.
What do you mean talking like that?